All right, back from lunch, ready to go again. Let's get some things in order real quick. All right, continuing on, this is where we ended up. Not too long ago, actually, so just a couple of minutes I needed to eat. And this is the round table hold. So this is our main central hub. And you can access it through the menu here. There's a bunch of different ways we can get here. You hit triangle, hit square, it'll automatically take you across the map. But we want to talk to everyone here and exhaust all their dialogue options. You won't be able to go through here just yet. The round table will serve as a lost grace. So you can level up and do all your stuff here as well.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new tarnished made their way to the round table. Very well. As your senior, I bid you welcome. It is safe here. You may let down your guard. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place, newcomer. There's nothing left to say. Be at your leisure. There's nothing left to...
This is the Coliseum combat stuff. This was introduced in one of the most later patches to the game, so now it's just a huge online arena. So if you're interested in that, do that.
Ah, hello. You must be new here. Well, just call me Dialos. The honor of one's house holds little import in these lands. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya on your travels? She's my servant, but fickle as the wind. Take your eyes off her for but a moment and she's good as gone. If you find her, please be sure to tell me. Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman named Lanya. She's a servant to my house. She's been my companion since childhood. I've lost count of the number of times I've had to find her like this. Honestly, she's such a little tomboy. Be sure to tell me if she's a servant to my house. She's been my companion. I've lost count of the number of... Honestly.
Okay, Dialos. You can jump down here. You can see all the bloodstains. There's an actual pretty tough fight, though, down there for now, so we're just going to avoid that.
Oh, I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Round Table Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the Two Fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one day, if a tarnished of the Round Table Hold should become Elden Lord, I might counsel them, ensuring order regains its proper form, righting rule over men. By the way, do you still see it? The guidance of grace. You do? Wonderful news. Most tarnished are blind to it these days. You are something of a rare breed. Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the Two Fingers?
So, Brother Corn over here, he is our incantation merchant. I used him very much in my last playthrough because I was nothing but a faith caster, so he has all your faith things. I guess Cure Poison would probably be really cool for like a build like mine, instead of needing to rely on the boluses or anything like that. I can just use a spell and cure it right away. But honestly, there's a little bit better way to do that because there's one that does both of the most stupidest status effects in the game. Heal is okay, and not the best thing in the world though. Just if you have the FP to use it, use it. But it's really hard to do it in battle, so I wouldn't even bother. Catch Flame is very powerful, if you know how to spam it.
May the Golden Order...
then the majority of this stuff will be locked. This dude, what do you want? So just kind of talk to him. He'll give you a gesture. And he just kind of like, yeah. He's just a dickhead. So we're just going to move on. The Twin Maiden Husk here are a... Think of them like the Shrine Maiden from Firelink Shrine and DS3. They're pretty much your all merchant. They'll sell you a bunch of different things as you earn them. Bell bearings are items you get from NPCs and stuff like that. If you kill them, then you get like their inventory. So if you want to collect things and just kind of put it to them, bring it back to the husk, and they will allow you to purchase whatever items they had on them. So say, for instance, we killed Patches, you would get Patches' bell bearing, and then you would take it here, and then all the Patches items you would have gotten from him as a merchant will come here as their items now. Memory Stone right out the gate. There's a couple of Stone Sword keys. They're very expensive, though, so you don't really want to buy them unless you need to. Here is the mace quality. So back to the old DS1 days there. And then to replenish all of what I just lost, I'm going to pop every single rune I got. And then just go from there. I'll go ahead and switch into that gear. So a little bit heavier. You can make a case that it might be worth it or not. The poise goes up. A lot of the different resistances go up. Yeah, but now we're like truly in Dark Souls 1 days right now. So goodbye to Vagabond stuff for now. The only problem, though, is that if I want to equip that mace, it's probably going to put me at a heavy load, which it does. So we have to kind of hold out on that. And then, just so we can see the mace one more time, it is a strength weapon, but it can double down as a quality as well. Coming over this way, we'll get the blacksmith, so this dude's going to be what upgrades our weapons even further than what we could at that tiny little anvil. Backed by Kale. And this is Fia.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hold. Great champion, would you allow me to hold you? But briefly, perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Baldakin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. Ah, my thanks, great champion. You are very warm. What you felt light up inside you was a Baldakin's blessing. Though it is but a fleeting thing, I am afraid. Come back to me, should you require another. I will take you in my arms as often as you need.
Alright, Fia is very important for another quest line that we need to do for another alternate ending. And she gives us Baldakin's blessing. Iron Helm of an Unknown Knight. That's pretty cool. Striking attacks, few drawbacks, potent as this, da 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 da. You get a kick with this one. Hammer is 4.5 weight, along with, let's see here, doing strike damage. So not blunt, it's called strike in Elden Ring. But that's the kind of attack you need to kind of deal with heavily armored foes. Baldekin's Blessing here. Favor bestowed by Deathbed Companion, protection of a hidden temple and guise of a bed chamber. Use FP to temporarily boost poise. The favor allows one to forget any aches and pains in death. There is only peace, for in death there can be no sensation. So this thing actually carries a pretty bad bonus with it, though, that it's kind of hidden. And once Fia kind of lays her hands on you, she will take some of your HP. So when you have that happening, you need to use this Baldekin's Blessing thing to get rid of that effect. It's not mentioned anywhere, but you'll notice, like, oh, my HP is a little bit lower than it used to be. And it's because of that thing. Wild Strikes is pretty cool. I like this a lot. I'm probably going to use this on the hammer. So we want to get rid of that. You guys just go ahead and use this thing. Safest to use it in here because once you transport away from the round table hold, it pretty much resets everything. But your poise does get some pretty big increase. You saw it went from 51 to 77. That's what the effect is. So you'll be able to tank through some damage for a short time there. The mirror, if you need to, you can just change your look. If you don't like what you did, you can change into a dude, you can change into a chick, do whatever you want. Apply your cosmetics, make yourself look like you've actually been through some crap, then do it. That door is locked. We'll talk to him in a minute. Just want to come down here and show this. This door will never open. You have a couple of instances right here of imp dudes. So you have one door here and then you'll have another right there. You'll have to use your stone sword keys though, and honestly I would say it's probably not worth it right now to do this because you're going to get a crossbow and honestly negligible, right? You don't really want that. It's not going to do anything. You'll get a better crossbow anyway in the first legacy dungeon that we take on. So it's kind of a waste of stone sword keys for now. And I'll run up here.
You're a new face. No matter. It's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing. I see you've noticed the chains. Nothing special. I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. I'm trapped by the hole. I'm dying, smithing for you fools. That's all there is to it. No, don't read too much into it. Well, no grudge against you. My being a prisoner. Technique never fails. Besides, it helps me forget. The sheer terror of her.
So if you're really in love with an Ash of War and you want to make another one for like a different weapon, this is how you do it, but you need to find an item called Lost Ashes of War, which we won't find for a little bit. Going into your Ashes of War section, you can go ahead and upgrade your weapon to do whatever you need to do, just like normal. So yeah, if you want to, if you really don't like repeating thrust or whatever, you can add like the sacred sword thing, but keep it at standard so that you don't lose any of your damage and it doesn't become a holy blade. So then you're able to use the sacred blade effect no matter what. It's heavier FP cost though, so it just kind of comes with that. You know, you want to know that. But it's very useful to know, like if you're going into a catacomb, you probably want to change that so that you can actually have the ability to take down skeletons or the undead a lot quicker. With that kind of a thing. So it's really nice to play around with these things a lot as you play through the game. Repeating thrust is really useful for putting on like status effects on enemies and shit. So do with that with what you will. And then we want to strengthen our armaments, of course. So we're going to make our sword here a little bit better. And scrolling over, we know that we want to use the mace for the majority of the playthrough, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade this guy as well. I would probably wait and hold off on getting like this to a +4. You do want to like evenly level your weapons that you're using because you don't want one to fall behind the other, but we also know that the sword is going to be like our main weapon the entire game, and the mace is going to see very like niche uses here and there, so you kind of want to hold off until you know for a fact that you're going to get Smithing Stone 2 like pretty easily. So do whatever you want though. I mean, just kind of plan it out though, you know, you're going to lose stuff. Then you come over here to sell stuff. And like I said, I want to get my runes back that I lost from all that, so I'll just go ahead and pop all these. There we go. Because normally I wouldn't buy the armor or anything like that from them, but I went ahead and did so anyway. And now I would say we are safe to kind of level up a bit here. We want to have a little bit smoother of a time out there. Add a flash charge. Altering your garments is nothing more than just taking off the cape to make it lighter or not. Like, that's it. So if you don't want the cape, just kind of alter it, and that's it. So how many do I get? I get 8 levels. Okay. So let's start pumping some damage. A little bit more endurance. Take 2 off there. There we go. A little bit more HP, hand in hand in that, and then endurance takes 1 point. Okay. So now we're hitting at pretty decent. Very decent. Okay. Higher than that. We want to Ash of War our mace. Let's see, Wild Strikes is fine. Right now we are looking really good. Loving it. Let's see if that 1 endurance actually allowed me to put another weapon in. I doubt it though because of the way that it works. Just passed it. Yeah, I'll still be at a heavy load. Okay. Alright. And then that's it for the hold for now. So then you just kind of want to transport over to... you want to stay away from her for now while you opened up the round table hold, because she's going to transport over here and it can kind of mess up her dialogue and quest line a little bit. I don't want to really show that, so we won't do it. Let's go on ahead and take this out because this is still part of the early game and I just want to get it out of my face for now. So we will go to there. We'll check on Vare too to see if he has any new dialogue for us.
Oh, well done. Well done indeed. You made it through that entire mess all the way to Stormvale. And off you trotted to the Round Table Hold. My sincerest congratulations. But how did you find the Round Table? Oh, you don't have to say it. Before, the Round Table was chock full of venerated warriors. But now, it's home to puff chests and has-beens. I fear you've been terribly disappointed. I don't blame you. But still, the Round Table has its perks. Why not earn a seat?
Fly straight and true, so to speak. Ah, then you're interested. A wise choice indeed. To join the Round Table proper, you must acquire a great room and request audience with the two fingers in the inner chamber. They are the purported masters of the grace that guides your kind, the tarnished. Yes. Pay them a visit, so that you may see for yourself. Challenge Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale, to acquire a great rune. Decrepit he may be, but a demigod he remains. And of course, an inheritor of a great rune. Worse yet, I hear old Godric's acquired a ferocious new toy to graft. So, prepare for the worst. What's the matter? Aren't you supposed to be earning your place at the Round Table Hold? Then you must face Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale. For without a great rune, you will not be granted audience. With the two fingers in the inner chamber. What's the matter? Aren't you supposed to be? Then you must, for without with the two.
So Vari is telling us more stuff that we need to do to progress and what we're supposed to do with the round table now. I'll go ahead and take on this little world boss. He could still be a potential problem at this point, so summon as you need to. I think it's easier just to fight him in straight up one-on-one combat. Oh, that move always gets him. Oh, beat the big dude for a golden halberd. Like I said before, with the strength requirement, it's obviously really heavy. But if we were to put that in two hands, wherever my strength is at, you times that by 1.5, and you can actually try to meet that strength requirement. The only caveat is that you don't have a shield in hand, and you'll have to dual hand it. But that is it for that great sensible tree guy. And if you're struggling with him, just go ahead and summon for help right there. And people will always come in to kind of help with that part. Okay, now we want to take on this little ruins that we've been avoiding since the beginning. Be a couple of dogs in here. Just be careful. There are actually two of these little holes right here you want to be aware of. I don't think I ever heard them. Sounded like Europe. And come over here, this is like a hidden one because you have to jump through this stuff. Usually there's messages to kind of point that out, but I don't see any. Let's come down here. And this is for the twin blades. Sword with blades on both things, very dexterous weapon. So obviously we're not going to have any need for it, being that it is a dexterity type of weapon. But we can equip it. This thing is very, very good. Very fast, too. So obviously very awkward probably to use in just one hand. It's really meant for two-handed. Yeah. It's very, very cool. Used it multiple times before my other dexterity there, so make sure you check, the entirety of every single ruin. Get you a little extra prizes. Pretty easy stone sword key, just kind of chilling out here too. Then you want to come down here. We got rats. All right, so you're probably going to find this place really early since it's literally right out to the right of the very first place you enter. And you could be scared shitless when you go in here, just like I was when I first played this game. Here's what's going to happen. You've seen it before, you're going to get ensnared. And remember, if you don't want to get ensnared by these things, you can just backstep or roll away from the box, and it's not going to transport you anywhere. But you have to do it pretty quickly. And you will end up here in another zone that we have never explored yet. And you're actually pretty deep into the Deadlands, as you can see. So you have two options. You can take on the area and try to find the boss, or you can try to figure out how to get the hell out of here. Now, the only thing that's really bad about this place is that there's these creatures that shoot this fucking bullshit at you. and they are very deadly. So we'll see if we can just escape. Kind of want to keep your camera on him. There it is. Yep. Woo! So that attack is extremely deadly. Every single one of those has like an individual hitbox. So you can already tell it'll probably chunk your health down to 0 really fast, especially this early. We earned Rot Grease right there. So just another form of poison, but even worse. Pretty much what Venom is to poison in Dark Souls. So we got gravity chunks, so you can use this for gravity spell type things. Gravity really is just used for birds or something like that. Things that you're having a hard time bringing down naturally, that's what those are used for. And then if you want to be able to fast travel again, you'll need to rest at a site of grace, which is a good candidate. I would not suggest taking on the boss of this area right now because we're definitely way under leveled for this section of the game anyway. But we will take advantage of our new situation and grab some stuff. So you kind of want to hang out right here. Those giant pods are shooting out the red smoke, so this time it's going to be Scarlet Rot, which we haven't ran into yet. Completely whiffed. Okay. Sometimes there's messages that help you out too. Yeah, he likes to cross paths right here. Lucky swing, got the poison armament. So another incantation that will apply poison to your right hand so you don't have to use greases. Really no point to do that. I mean, look at that. That is insane right there. So those dudes just got destroyed by this shit. That's how deadly this stuff is. Just kind of run in the middle. Grab that. Rune arcs are very important to have. A shard of the Shattered Elden Ring grants the blessing of equipped Great Rune upon use. Even if no Great Rune is equipped, it will slightly increase maximum HP upon use. The lower arc of the Elden Ring is held to be the basin in which is Blessing Pool. Perhaps this shard originates from that very arc. So very cool lore details, but those are super important. I always like the items that you get for beating bosses and stuff like that in multiplayer, or if you're invading, defeating the hosts and all that kind of crap. So, you know, you get your, trying to think of it. I'm playing Dark Souls 3 right now, too. The embers. So you pretty much get, like, embers for doing that. And that's what rune arcs kind of act as, but even better. We will get to know this town very well, but just not yet. And if it's not evident enough, that should tell you right there what kind of shit we're dealing with here. Rotten strays, those are actually really powerful. You just saw the dog we fought, that's exactly what it is. It'll do Scarlet Rot damage, which I'm almost built up to. and it could be very helpful for some fights in the future. These guys are annoying. Yeah, they'll break apart like that and then just kind of whirl around. Very deadly, as you can see. Bleed buildup was pretty quick on that. But really, you just want to hit the grace so that we have this place. Stop by the shack beyond the southern gate. Okay. And then there's really no other point to exploring any of this unless you really, really want to, but this place is very overpowered for us right now. So, we want to move on. And we will go to the shack. And traverse to the right side of Limgrave now. So we actually want to explore here, kind of like this. This whole back area is up for exploration as well. Pretty much until like this line right here. Follow it down. Cross over the bridge. And there's more stuff this way. To this town right here. We've explored down this way already, except for this bottom part. And then this right here is kind of your cutoff. This is where you should stop exploring and then go to Stormvale. If you need like a guidance on what you should do. Then we'll go ahead and run over this way. Obviously nothing to be gained from here. You can already kind of see up that one. There's really nothing either, but you do just want to check anyway. We've already been up there. And you're going to get a lot of these troll fights in this beginning of the area, so they're worth fighting though. And he was safeguarding another one of these cauldrons, which will give us, you guessed it, crystal hairs. So this one temporarily boosts our strength. So if you're a strength build, this is an amazing one for you, so you'll actually pull a little bit more damage out of your strength stuff. A couple of points worth, I think, like 10 or so. So, you know, that's very nice. I wouldn't use it for something like trying to get weapon statistics up because it'll drain out quicker than you can probably use the weapon. But if you're fast, then, you know, go ahead and play with that if you wish. We actually do want to go up there, so hold on. Because I think I always kind of miss that secret up there ever since the first time I found it. If it's the place I'm thinking of. Yeah, I told you the wind is really bad for this section. I don't think this is it. Yeah, no. I always get it confused. This isn't part that I want. But there is something similar to this, so you just kind of want to do a drop. Every time you found an owl, go ahead and kill him, unless you love owls, then don't do that. Kind of run along the sides here. Kind of weave in and out of these things, because sometimes they pull secrets. So there will be an invasion at this Coliseum-like area. Yep. Here we go again, but this time you don't get any help. You'll just be straight up invaded. And this is a duel of one-on-one. Depending on how you approach it. Sometimes there's wolves. So that's like his super secret attack or whatever. He's just very quick. So he won that fight. Oh, and he tried, he really did. That's crazy. We'll find out more about what a recusant is, but that's what we got invaded by, was a recusant. So, Hammer Talisman depicting Hammer and Knight, enhances stamina, reducing attacks against blocking opponent. Hammers are highly effective against shield-bearing foes, so much so that they are known as Knight Killers. So, if you want to break poise even faster, put that rune on, or that talisman on. I would recommend it since we are doing a lot of stamina reducing attacks, such as the jump strike, charge, or two-hand. Competitive multiplayer. Use the duelist furled finger to write a red summon sign. Competitive multiplayer will begin once you have been summoned by a player from another world. You will take on the role of an adversary, a duelist, and your objective is to defeat the host of fingers who summoned you. So instead of invading, you can duel. Dueling has a little bit different set of rules. Invasions, anything goes. If you are the invader, you have free reign to do whatever the hell you want. There are no rules such as, healing, doing whatever, and just being as dirty as shit as you can be in order to take down the host of the world. Because more than likely, the host is going to get help from other players, and it becomes like a test of 1v4 sometimes. Whereas in a duel, it is literally you and one other, and you just duel with, of course, rules of try not to heal. You're just not supposed to heal at all when you're dueling someone, because you don't want the battles to go on longer than they should. And the only exception is that you can only heal for your FP if you're like a mage character or something like that, because obviously that's what you built your character towards. So like I said earlier, this is an instance of like a field of shit. So like if I know like this whole area is always going to regenerate, I'm going to put down a sign saying like this is a pretty huge spot when I need materials. And you can see there, sometimes you net yourself 2 smoldering butterflies. It just, it's RPG dependent. RPG dependent, or can't even think of the word now. RNG dependent. And that's about it for that. So anytime you need smoldering butterflies to make fire stuff, come on down this way. And then you can get yourself a bunch of fire little butterflies. Root resin will come naturally. It tells you where it can also be found. So if you're like sitting here and you want to make more fire greases and stuff like that, then go ahead and, you know, do what you need to do. But this is a great source of the butterflies right now. Other than that, they hang around the little encampments, around the little fire pots that they have. So just kind of remember that. Whatever you need to do to remind yourself of cool things in the game. Basically how I'll say it. You want to remember here. I'm going to mark her down this way. So another smithing stone. There was a knight kind of patrolling around. Yeah. This guy drops a Ash of War, so you do want to take him down. And it's the Ash of War Golden Vow. Very useful Ash of War. A lot of people use it. It's very powerful. Golden Vow, skill passed down from an antiquity among the Knights of the Capital. Raise armament aloft and pledge to honor the Erd Tree in battle, granting self and nearby allies increased attack power and defense. So yes, a lot of people like to use this before battles begin because it does exactly all that, and it's extremely powerful and stackable with a lot of different spells. So before you know it, you can have a super buff character before you even enter a boss fight. And that is the name of the game. Okay. Kind of want to walk right here. This is what I needed. There's going to be a dude, so I would get off the horse. Because he can knock you off. Sporific Grease. This is a sleep-inducing one. So putting things to sleep will basically set them up for a riposte. A lot of things in the game are sleep enabled. So you know, there's a lot of interesting builds for sleeping. There's not a lot of weapons that produce sleep. I think there's only 2 in the entire game that do so. If not, it's just the one. And I think the second was added because of the DLC, if I'm remembering correctly. But as far as I know, I only know of the one that you get naturally in the main game. And it's honestly a very interesting weapon. But we'll see it when we get to it. But just put a marker down saying, like, I still need to explore there. Because we want to have this high ground advantage so that we can jump on top of that that little ruin that we saw, because we need to be on a high platform. Just kind of dive bomb off the edge, run through it, get ourselves a little owl, and get yourself the lance. So another big old great spear weapon. Nothing more needs to be said. It's a giant pike. They use those in jousting, so yeah, we can approach it from this way and then kind of do what we need to do. Naturally, I wouldn't try to do this. You know what? We're not going to, because that's not how I would do it. Because there's actually shit in the forest that you need to. Those little things are like gravity bombs. They're pretty much like those snake rocks that we saw by the Evergel, but they're just coiled up and pretty much turned into bombs. come through here in the more natural ways. Easy fire arrows. Okay, then you should recognize where we're at. We just did all this, so now we're just gonna jump down. Continue along the path that we need to. Probably detour it real quick. I checked in the middle down there. Found the guide. So little ruins here. Or just the opposite side of the bridge. Yeah, you can deal with those guys if you want to. I would just grab the item though. Then down here we have some octopus. This is like a heavy ass arena of trolls. So you do really want to like pick them off one by one, because if you get in a fight with more than one troll at a time, it probably won't work out for you. So, pretty important thing about these stones right here is that they can only be broken by enemies. You'll never be able to do it by yourself. So we actually need to grab a troll and guide them over here to break this for us. Yep. And that's all they really need to do. Just kind of run up on it or attack it. Excuse me. This is a really good area for early rune farming if you're really good at fighting trolls, because like I said before, they do get you 1,000 runes per kill. And you see that there's a bunch of them, so it is well worth your time to do this. Just don't want to draw more than one at a time. This will be an arena for a nighttime boss, so you want to keep the marker right there. There should be messages that tell us this, but I think I'm still like in enemy contact or danger, whatever they want to say, so messages aren't popping up as frequently. Or maybe I'm off. I'm not. Just want to separate those two. I really hate when they just kind of spam that. Really it to it. Okay, we can see there is a graveyard guy right there. And a host of bullshit down this way. Let's go ahead and grab this. To indicate that we need to find out what that is. Down there's a giant pot dude, and we actually need to help this character.
Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello? Hello? Anyone? Hello? Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this? My
Say help.
thanks. 1,000 thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big. And I'll pop clean out, I'm sure. Don't dally. No, there's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say.
Okay. Then, oddly enough, you do want to attack him with some heavy charges. There you go.
Well played, good lady. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me. Ah. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like you to have this. Once again, the pleasure is mine. I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of war. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid Wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held. I'd heard whispers of such festivities before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter? I'm heading eastward to Redmane Castle, on the southern edge of the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid Wilds. I've heard there's to be a festival held there. I'm heading to Redmane, I've heard.
Okay, that will not be the last time we see Alexander. Very important NPC as well for another quest line. And really a homie. So I love Alexander. He is fantastic. I have a little figure of him in my house. He is basically like Solaire 2.0. I mean that's how like heavy of an impact he has on the Souls community. Alexander is just great. So he's just a warrior jar trying to prove his worth to the world, and he does so. So there's like this little back behind area. We ran up on this quite a few times actually. Just not the upper portions. I don't want to go there just yet, so I'm going to put a marker down to indicate that I still need to go there. We still have all of this area to explore as well, so we want to put markers down there. And we were traversing, and we saw a little shack and stuff like that. So we need to do the shack, and we need to do this entire camp. So we go ahead and place down markers and get ourselves oriented here. And the camp was, well, we'll just go back. Right there. They have such a long wind-up, it's always funny to me how long they can just hold that. Praise the destruction. So, Beast Crest Heater Shield. Pretty good. I think it's a lot better than the original Heater Shield we got from the start of the game. Yeah, just by a little bit. But, you know, a little bit's still better than nothing in Elden Ring. And I'm still saying we got one enemy kind of chilling out somewhere. The whole camp should have been worth at least 3, yeah. This will pretty much be your path back to the nighttime boss, which is located right here. There's actually 2 of them in this location, so just want to kind of use the high ground. Very good source of tarnish on golden sunflowers here. And an owl. And then there's the mystery shack we were talking about. Alright, very good shack. This dude. Go ahead and rest.
Not seen you before. Name's Bernal. Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something. Are you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm, despite the collapse of the Golden Order? Yes, you're a Tarnished through and through. Takes me back. But that's a quality needed now more than ever. Any interest in bearing the torch of my battle arts? All I know is the sword. Picked up a fair few tricks in my time, too. Now's the time to pass them on. To a good and proper Tarnished, like you. There's a myriad of battle arts in these lands that I've yet to discover. Mementos of all the warriors who raised their arms in battle, lost and died. A fine tale, all told, of true chivalric romance. That's how I fell in love with the sword, and the arts of combat. It grants meaning even to falling in battle, to death itself.
So this guy is your Ash of War merchant. Probably be the only source of Ash of Wars that you'll get from, and he has quite a few. Some of them are really good, some of them are just kind of like, okay. But we got a stamp upward cut, the kick, endure, war cry, spinning slash, impaling thrust, quick step, which is really cool. Stormblade, I use that in my first run for like half the game. It is very cool. Like you just kind of summon a vortex of wind and it can hit from range. It's kind of short range, but it's, you know, you don't have to get up close and personal every single time, and it's really good for just kind of keeping things at bay. Parry if you don't have parry on your weapon or on your on your weapons or your shields, and then no skill, which is probably the most important Ash of War to have. I'm just going to buy that because I usually use it.
Well, until we meet again.
Yep. So Bernal will be our merchant for a while about that stuff. The shield that we got, though, the brass shield actually comes with no skill. So what I was talking about in the first part was that in order to use your main weapon's like skill, you would have to dual hand it in order to kind of get that, you know, like it says, repeating thrust. That's how you would be able to do it. But if you get your shield and you put no skill on the shield, now you are able to have your shield up, and then all you have to do is just push L2, and you'll get your skill attack off with the main, you know, with this. Other than that, you would, you know, have a shield like these two, where they have parry innate, and that's all you have to do. But then you have to kind of remember to put your shield back on. It could just be a mess in battle. So I like no skill on a shield, just so I can use it immediately, and then hunker down behind it. So this is a nighttime boss area. What we want to do here is pass the time to nightfall. Then you kind of want to check in there. If he's still standing there, the night boss will not show up. So you need to come back into here. If he's still in there, that's fine. I would just keep passing the time. You can see him clearly. Sometimes he doesn't leave. Like, it's really weird. I really don't know how to trigger him to just get out of there. Sometimes it just works and then it doesn't. Like, I have to kind of do this number. Still there. Go to morning. Let's see if he has dialogue options. Maybe that's what's preventing him.
Here to learn.
Well,
I see he does not want to leave. There we go. So with him gone, now you can come over here and take on this dude. Get some free hits in. These dudes can be kind of nightmarish though, so you want to be careful. Want to bait that attack the most. Oh. Oh, come on. That sucks. This is about as messed up as the fight can get, so... really good. Oh my god. And now we got the mage kind of aiming on us too, so... we gotta go take care of his melee problem, or the range problem we got now. No. Shit. for it. Woo. Then you earn yourself a Bone Peddler's Bell Bearing. So it's important to pay attention to the messages around the shacks. Sometimes they will reveal those dudes. They're obviously very tough encounters. He just kind of like uses the force and swings his giant sword around, so it's kind of annoying. But once you lose control of the fight, I mean, you can see what happens. You just kind of want to stay close to him so he doesn't have a chance to bring out that red shit. And in this one, if you offer it to the Twin Maiden Husk, so they even tell you where to take it, it'll offer you thin animal bones and hefty beast bones. So instead of going out in the world and hunting around animals, if you don't want to do that, which isn't honestly that bad, you can just go to them and buy the bones yourself. Okay. Then with him taken care of, now we can do the other nighttime boss, which probably is going to get me. Because it always does every time I do this. And honestly, for this boss, I would say this is the time to finally change your Ash of War. Because if we're lucky enough, we can actually get something good off of him. So, Sacred Blade does these. See, its windup is pretty heavy, but against this boss, it's going to be very necessary. So go ahead and just do a full night cycle. And remember that we maintained our standard, so we still have like the same damage we would have as if the sword wasn't, you know, equipped with something different. Because I'm not a faith build, I am a quality build. And then kind of running around here, you do want to take out at least the goats with the horns, because they're annoying. Deathbird. Yeah, you want to stay away from that shit. Talisman adorned with blue feathers, once used in ancient death rituals, raises defense when HP is low. So those are your the blue and the red stones, basically from Dark Souls. The heart sings when one draws close to death, and thus does one cling to tenaciously to life, to render up a death worth offering. So it can be very useful in your arsenal if you need to. Just equip whatever you need. Death birds are death enemies, and those things are extremely weak to holy. So we'll come across a few enemies that really do not like that blade. And honestly, I'll probably keep it on because I'm not really using the thrusting one. So you see this guy, he has little yellow eyes. That just means that he's going to be worth more runes than he originally gives. Which for a bird sucks. But just to show that one more time, if you are going to go for any one of these, you do not have to stay with what they are at times. So like this one is a sacred blade, right? So it's going to be affiliated with holy. If you go sacred, it's going to change your holy damage to 104. So obviously you see that we lose like 40 points of damage along with our scaling. So you can maintain the actual ability, but keep it on, you know, your build style that you want. So even though Sacred Blade, it'll always cost 19 FP no matter what we use. But since I'm not a Faith build, I don't have to worry about, using that damage to do the damage I require. I can just keep it a normal sword, but with, holy enchantment, basically. If all of that makes sense. But the thrusting thing I don't really need because I'm not using it, like I said, and it's just always good to kind of keep weaknesses in check by, creating a character where you can cover every single weakness in the game eventually. And we're doing that by, holding on to certain greases and, pots. Whatever you need to do, you kind of want to be well-rounded so you can deal with any situation when you walk into it. Okay, and then for this part, now all we got to do is just run back through the woods. I actually want to start setting up a little bit more. So we got this entire area to explore down here as well. So I got 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you actually want to explore up here, and then eventually down here. So once I get to the catacombs, I will probably cut there and then return later because I have to do other things real quick. But we'll just go ahead and get down here and get set up. Like I said, you see that everything replenished. So now you just get even more of these things. I think the knight rejuvenates too. Yeah, so you can just kind of farm him up for his gear if you want it. The ones on horseback are honestly really easy to deal with, more so than the ones on the ground, I would say. But ground combat's really simple too. It's just a bunch of series of rolls and learning their movesets. And victory. It's just another way up here. Put a marker at the bridge. Shield rune, that. I think we actually have all the equipment. No, we don't. We don't have the helmet still. Yeah, still missing helmet. We got a bunch of those foot soldier things, and their pants down. But we can almost be a foot soldier. Remember, this is pointing somewhere in this direction. But we're going to take this wide. Because we have a talisman that we want to pick up. So this could be like another instance of like, what the hell did I just get myself into? That talisman is this. Knights on horseback, deadly foes. They see all below. They're locked to position, meaning little meaningful resistance as they charge ahead. So if you want to enhance your attacks while you're on horseback, put that rune on. I keep saying rune. I keep changing between my language on all these Souls games, but your talisman on, and you will do more increased damage while you're on horseback. Yeah, like I said, this is a instance of like, holy shit, what the hell's going on? Okay, now. He just kind of went mad psycho on me. And then big explosion. You can kind of farm those guys for their halberd, as crazy as that sounds. So if you wanted to sit here and repetitively kill these dudes over and over again, you can actually get their halberd, which is a really, really powerful one at that. But it requires some huge stat investments at this early stage. As you can tell, it is well worth your time to explore every little nook and cranny in Elden Ring because you never know what's around the corner. Unthinkable, our hallowed resting place is violated. To refuse the Erdtree's call to return to live within death, sickening. So just as the statue up there was pointing at, we do have another catacomb. This catacomb is probably worth going to, like, right out the gate of the game. Because it houses one of the most powerful weapons in the entire game. If you don't already own it. So, like I said, we're going to stop here for now. We have covered a vast majority of early Limgrave. So all that's really remaining is Kenneth Heights' little side quest right here. We got to cross the bridge, kind of explore this zone we haven't been to yet. We've already covered this due to jumping over. We've been down here, but we don't know anything about this other little secret around here too that we want to find. And then we have the whole bottom portion to explore one day. And the addition from the shack, we only went right, so now we have to go left naturally and explore this wood side and then under here and then figure out what this Evergel is all about. But we got a lot to do. Like, it's just the beginning, so buckle in. I hope it's been an enjoyable experience. Still, so far, very close though with the Briar guy. No deaths, so it's looking really good. You know, just kind of stay patient with the bosses, you know, and set up good strategies, and hopefully this is helping you with not being too stressed out. And then we got to figure out what's going on with the well too. So yeah, there's a lot to do. But other than that, when we come back, it's going to be the catacombs, and we will prep. But you don't have to be stingy like me and keep your points. I'm just doing it because, like, I know I'm going to run into merchants and I want to buy stuff. I just don't remember everything that they own. But it'll probably benefit you to level up, you know. Do what you need to do. But alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.